Jardine, the coach of America, came out whining at the press conference. He wanted more penalties for the Eagles, and we'll listen to him since he said so. Also, watch out. There could be more Chivas players selected for the World Cup. Pay attention to that situation. Stay here with me because we're going to talk about it next. I'm Jesus Bernal, and I thank all of you for your attention. Thank you very much for being here with me to talk about the latest regarding the Chivas team. Take advantage, enjoy, and let's play using this QR code. Here, claim this bonus with this QR code, and we can support Chivas in the match against the team. So let's try it, because I'm confident that Chivas will win. So without further ado, let's start this video with the latest news about Chivas. All right, let's discuss the call-ups. And the thing is, Chivas could keep adding players to Javier El Vasco Aguirre's call-up list. And there are some factors to consider in this situation. The first one is that just because you haven't been called up doesn't mean you're already out of the World Cup. It just means that your spot wasn't guaranteed. I mean, the coach still had doubts. And since he had to guarantee a spot to those who were called up, that's why some players were left out. On the radar, among the Chivas players who were considered at some point, there are two who were left out of this final list. That's the case with Richie Ledesma and Diego Campillo. Watch out. With Richie. Actually, for both, if it happens, it will be after Chivas completes the tournament. We're all hoping that will be in 2 weeks, lifting the trophy. That 2 weeks from today, Chivas will be celebrating their 13th title. And the situation is that with Richie Ledesma, they're waiting for Huescas or Julian Araujo. But it looks difficult for both of them to be back. That gives Richie Ledesma an option. And in Campillo's case, look, here he still has a lot of doubts about his backup center backs. The one he was really sure about was Chiquete Orozco, who is just coming back from an injury. So, under that scenario, there's still some doubt about who will be the backup center backs for Cachorro and Johan Vasquez. Campillo offers things no other center back in Mexican soccer does. Watch out, pay attention to that. So, don't be surprised if once Chivas' participation ends, and if the Europeans don't recover, these two could appear on El Tri's final roster. It makes me laugh because every time he loses, Andrés Jardine turns into Piojo Herrera. He comes out to complain about the refereeing. Every time he loses, he comes out to complain about the refereeing. But nobody says anything. I've even posted some videos where he bitterly complains about the refereeing. And what's more, Andrés Jardine doesn't even get fined over this. The coach of America. Wow, what a hypocrite. He came out and said he was still crying because they should have given him 6 penalties. 6 penalties. He wasn't satisfied with getting 4. Out of those 4, 1 wasn't a penalty and 2 were very questionable, because penalties like that weren't given to Chivas or Atlas, only to America. Well, even with that, he comes out saying he's crying because he wanted more penalties. Let's listen to Andrés Jardine. Andrés, go ahead.
First, good evening to everyone. Also, congratulations to Pumas for advancing. It was another one of those matches that show why this is a Clásico. I always saw 2 teams on the field. I think I'm very proud of our team's attitude, of the way we competed, the way we played. a clear feeling on our part that we had earned it. You mentioned 4 penalties. There were 6 penalties. They called 4. It's okay. I'm still crying because in the first match there were 3 penalties. They gave 2. In the play of the second penalty, there were 2 penalties in the same play. And today, a small penalty that wasn't called. But talking about this, I think today it's not worth it. We really have to talk about the match itself because Pumas also deserves credit for advancing. We have to acknowledge that. And well, I'll stick with what my players showed on the field, which is maybe the thing a coach looks for the most with a team like this: to feel represented, to have greatness in defeat, in victory, to know how to win, to know how to lose. And I think America has been showing both of those things for some time now.
After these results, the semifinal matches have now been confirmed. The Chivas team will be facing Cruz Azul. At the time of recording this video, the schedules are still unknown. I imagine that most likely it will be Wednesday and Saturday, because Pumas will choose first. The Pumas team will go up against the Pachuca squad. The semifinals are set like this. Chivas eliminated Tigres, Cruz Azul took out Atlas, Pumas beat America, and Pachuca ended up thrashing Toluca. Good matchups, huh? Good matchups, good clashes. The ones we've got coming up in the semifinals. And it's worth it. It's worth reliving the goals. The goals from the Chivas team with which Chivas advanced to the next round, right? Sublime moments that happened last Saturday. Here's the first one, right? In this scramble that happens inside the box. Ricardo Marin's shot, and Santi Sandoval was right there to get a touch on the ball to send it in and make it 1-0, right? There, we saw how the entire coaching staff was asking for the support of the Chivas fans. On Guido Pizarro's bench, they were explaining to us what had happened. They simply just didn't understand it. And well, so there was this situation with the Chivas team, right? There was still some time left. They were checking to see if Santi Sandoval was offside. In the end, no, the goal was valid. Then, the semi-automated system showed exactly that Sandoval started from behind at the moment the 4K came to shoot that ball to get closer. And you could already feel it, right? It seemed like it was just a matter of time. And the good news is that Chivas found it right away. I mean, as soon as the first goal happened, 3 minutes went by, Gobea's cross, the header from Santi Sandoval. And here, yes, Estadio Akron went wild. Estadio Akron went wild with that goal. The goal, of course, by Sandoval. The brace, the excitement, the joy among all the Chivas fans for this 2-0. And well, this puts Chivas into the semifinals. With this, Chivas is through and now awaits Cruz Azul. And Coach Gabby Milito shared, as always, some thoughts about what this match was like, right? Among other things, why did he decide to use 2 forwards? What was the reason for using 2 forwards in this match? Let's listen to Gabriel Milito.
We needed to use 2 forwards today. And we decided to play 3-4-1-2 because they were also playing man-to-man against us. They were going to press our back 3, just like they did in the 2 matches we played at their place with their wingers. Richie didn't have to be so high up. Efra didn't have to be so high up. They had to drop back so that when their winger pressed and their fullback covered, we would have the spaces to attack. Or play as a number 9, or have Santi go from inside to outside, right? So that the holding midfielder who was going to play against him would chase him to the sides. If that happened, we had to play a lot of balls through the middle to Sepu and Marin. And from there, with the width provided by Richie and Efra, attack vertically and get the ball into the box. We have 2 number 9s. It's very important. We got Sepu back in the previous match. Today he played the whole match, which makes me very happy. He had a great game. Both of them had a great game. And when we think it's appropriate, we'll play with 2 forwards. And when we don't think so, or after a previous analysis, sometimes our imagination as coaches works, and sometimes it doesn't. We have to play with 1 forward, we'll play with 1 forward, but we like to play with 2 strikers, we like that. Especially if we have strikers like ours, right? Plus the contribution and energy of Sergio Aguayo. We brought in Diego Latorre because if there was fatigue and we had to keep playing with 2 strikers due to Sepu or Ricardo being tired, we could keep having 2 forwards on the field. They're young, but both are number 9s. Latorre has done very well with the under-21 team. He's scored a lot of goals. And Sergio is a player we also like, and he has a lot of potential ahead of him. But basically, it was to try to put their defense in one-on-one situations.
Well, we're just waiting for the schedules to be announced later to know how, when, and at what time the Mexican football semifinals will be played. All right, that's it for this video. Thank you very much for your attention. Keep subscribing, commenting, sharing, and liking, and I'll see you next time. I'm Jesus Bernal. Bye. Goodbye.